An armored dragon. The dragon is one of the most ancient mythical creatures. The earliest known depiction of a dragon is a stylized C-shaped representation carved in jade, found in eastern Inner Mongolia. It belonged to the Hongshan culture, which thrived between 4500 and 3000 BCE. A symbol of wealth, power, and good fortune, the dragon was used to represent the emperor. Dragon motifs were widely used to decorate silk, gold, and jade from the Neolithic to the modern era. It's not surprising to find dragons in Philippine artifacts, a nation with a long-standing relationship with China. Thus, most dragon artifacts would be attributed to them or to our Southeast Asian neighbors. But when a distinctly different dragon appears repeatedly in Philippine antiquities that do not have the standard characteristics of the Asian dragon, like, for example, a dragon wearing a European-type Bronze Age helmet, complete with neck guard, nose guards, and elaborate cheek guards, it makes us wonder about our prehistoric visitors. On all armored dragons, one may observe that the jockey cap-shaped helmet is divided into two sections. The larger base section is decorated with four triangular decorations with a central sphere in cross formation, front, back, left, and right. The convex top section is crowned with a spherical point. Cheek guards are decorated similarly to the helmet with circles, spirals, and geometric patterns. A long curling rope-like form attached to the back of the helmet may have represented leather or cloth straps. Other similarities of the armored dragon include a mouth full of squarish human-like teeth, circular bulging eyes, a scaly textured body with a snaky striped underbelly. All the helmeted dragons have similar elongated snouts, pronounced noses, and are portrayed with open jaws. These dragons all have long, legless, serpentine bodies. There are two types of dragons in Celtic lore. There's the standard winged version with four legs that most people are familiar with, and there is a sea serpent that is depicted as either a giant wingless serpent or a huge serpent with wings but no legs. Armored dragons have been found on heavy, rigid, torque-shaped bronze arm and wristbands. The torque was worn by Celtic warriors and was an important symbol of nobility and status. Dragons are often depicted in Celtic artwork. Dragons are often drawn with their tails in their mouths. This symbolizes the cycle of nature in the world and immortality. Armored dragons were also used on weapons. Two matching dragons appear to have decorated the curved hilts of blades that may have disintegrated over time. Being the most finely crafted armored dragon uncovered so far, we may clearly see the geckos protruding from its mouth. During the first millennium BC, the lizard, or more specifically the gecko, featured prominently in the art of Middle Proto-Corinthian vase painters, who portrayed it often in the midst of violent contexts. Appearing in bronze and stone reliefs, the gecko often finds itself in the middle of opposing forces about to engage in combat, and was seen as an omen of impending disaster during the Archaic period. Even today, the gecko remains an important figure in Celtic and Philippine tribal art. Another armored dragon forms the actual death-dealing edge of a Celtic flame sword, like the one shown on the Gundestrup cauldron, also known as a kris in Southeast Asia. The helmet-wearing dragons wrap around an actual bronze helmet. Bronze Age Greeks were known to have used dragon motifs to embellish their weapons and armor. In ancient Greece, the first mention of a dragon is derived from the Iliad, where Agamemnon is described as having a blue dragon motif on his sword belt and an emblem of a three-headed dragon on his breastplate. Unlike the benevolent and auspicious nature of the Asian dragon, the European fire-breathing dragon had a more aggressive, warlike persona. Norse warriors in later times painted dragons on their shields and carved dragons' heads on the prows of their ships. In England, before the Norman conquest, the dragon was chief among the royal ensigns in war, having been instituted as such by Uther Pendragon, father of King Arthur. Celtic dragons symbolized the power of their warrior chiefs, whom they called Pendragon. Celtic myth sees the dragon as gatekeeper to other worlds and guardian to the secrets and treasures of the universe. What treasures and what world did these dragons guard? Greek myth tells of the dragon of Colchis that guarded the golden fleece. Ancient painted pottery shows Cadmus battling a dragon, wearing a helmet similar to the Armoured Dragons. Cadmus was a Greek hero, but he was also a Phoenician prince, the son of Agenor, first king of Tyre, who was the son of Poseidon. Cadmus and his wife Harmonia were said to have turned into dragons themselves near the end of their lives, and were buried in tombs guarded by serpents. Dionysus in the Dionysiaca prophesied that Cadmus and his wife would be brought to the land of the blessed after having been transformed into serpents. Coming from a Phoenician royal line, Cadmus's name contains clues to where he may have gone. In Semitic, Ugaritic, and Hebrew root words, his name means east. In Arabic, his name signifies to come. Ancient historical records tell of the Phoenicians journeying to the lands of gold in the Far East, a blessed and abundant land where the islands of gold may be found. Could the Philippines have been the land known in ancient times as the lands of gold, the lands of Tarshish and Ophir? If so, then these armored dragons found in ancient tombs in the cool highlands of Mindanao would be less of a mystery and more of a confirmation of our ancient identity. What do you think? Thank you for joining us in opening the book of our past in the hope of a brighter future.